Hello, fellow residents of Tamriel. It is the Beeve, and we are back again. It's been a little while. Anybody that's watched my videos in the past knows that I take hiatuses from this game, but I've recently made the transition to PC gaming over, console gaming. So I'm hoping that I can make more of these videos and be more active on the channel. We'll see if work and kids and everyday life allow that to happen. But today I wanted to go over a Stam sorc build. This is a build that I've put together on the PTS for Elder Scrolls. This is on the Update 44 PTS, which I don't believe there are any combat balance changes in this patch. So everything you see here should work the same way right now on 43 that it does on 44 when it releases. But I might be wrong about that. If I am, I'm sorry. Leave a comment below and let me know that my information is skewed. Alright, so I've shown a stamina sorcerer in the past where we did a dual wield and a two-hand. This here is a double two-hand build. Two-hand on the front bar, two-hand on the back bar. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and buff ourselves and go into character. We are looking at 32,000 stamina, 22,000 health, 13,000 magicka. Weapon damage is 5414, weapon critical is 52%, and our physical and spell resistances are sitting at 1900. Now this build, for parse reasons, I am using parse food. I am using Lavafoot soup and sultries. I've ran this with Bewitched Sugar Skulls and had like 28,000 in health, and it works. Like you might find yourself having to slow your rotation down a tad little bit just to make sure you're not running yourself out of stamina, but you are able to do it and have just a boatload of health in the process. So it's a nice little thing to have in the back pocket. We are using the Thief Mundus Stone, and oh yeah, all 64 points in stamina, obviously. Thief Mundus Stone is giving us weapon and spell critical rating. When we go into inventory, you're going to see this looks very similar to the dual wield and two-hand setup. We are using Aegis Collar on the weapon and on the jewelry. All the jewelry is bloodthirsty with weapon and spell damage enchantments on it. And the two-hand weapon, we are running precise with double dot poisons on them. You can put any type of enchantment here you want, or run the double dot poisons like I do. Whatever you want to do. This is just I don't know why. I'm very partial to running poisons for some reason, but it definitely not a necessity by any means. The Aegis Collar set is a set that you can find in Unhallowed Grave on normal or vet. The stats on this are 2 lines of weapon and spell damage, a line of critical chance, and when you deal martial melee damage, which is, critical damage, when you do critical damage with a light attack, heavy attack, or with a wrecking blow, or just anything where you're doing damage with, either one of the great swords, well, at least the great sword on this hand, is going to create this Aegis to come out. And he spins for what, 8.5 seconds, doing 2,300, almost 2,400 bleed damage every second. It can happen every 12 seconds. He does a lot of damage, and he is one thing that actually gives you a little bit of AoE damage on this build, because the Stam sorc kind of lacks AoE damage, but he is a single target monster in the process. So trash fights take a little bit longer for Stam sorcs to clear up, because you just have to go, target to target, killing everything. But this Aegis Collar helps do a little bit of AoE damage so it doesn't take as long. On our back bar, we are running the Maelstrom Perfected Greatsword. This is obviously found in Maelstrom Arena. I have the perfected version here. You can run it on normal and get the non-perfected version if you like. The difference between non-perfected and perfected is just 1,090 offensive penetration. That's it. 1,190. Pardon me. This sword, when activating critical charge, it stirs up a barbarous lust for battle within you for 18 seconds, increasing damage done with direct damage attacks, which is a lot of what we do, by 431 up to a maximum of 560. This effect scales off the higher of your weapon and spell damage. You get to that 560 as soon as you hit a pod. So, you get to that 560 instantly. Now, it doesn't sound like a whole lot, but when you add it on to the damage you're already doing, and when it's multiplied with critical strike damage and stuff like that, it really helps boost damage a good bit. Monster Helm, we are running with the Zon. This is a monster helm that is found in the Scale Color Peak when you complete it on Vet. This helm provides a line of critical chance, and when you deal critical damage with a light or heavy attack, you have a 33% chance to tether to your enemy for 10 seconds. So the beam of fire flies off the tethers, and the enemy that it's tethered to and anything else in the tether takes flame damage every second, and that flame damage increases by 100% per tick while that's going off. And as well with that, you will apply the burning status effect with every tick. So it gives you like 14 seconds of the burning status effect. It ticks for 10 seconds worth of damage. It just does a lot of damage. And when you see the combat metric report that I put at the end of this video, you'll see exactly how it breaks down and how much damage it really is doing just wearing this helm. Last but not least, we are using the Reliquins out of the Cloud Rush Trial medium armor set, and this set is I'm using the Perfected here. Perfected is not a big deal. The only thing it adds is an extra 1,096 maximum stamina. So even if you choose to not use this, you're just losing out on a little bit of stamina. It's not going to be a deal breaker when it comes to the damage that you do in the trial or in the whatever you're playing in. For anyone that's not familiar with this, you get 2 lines of critical chance. You get a line of minor slayer. If you're wearing the Perfected like I am, you get a line of maximum stamina. And when you apply heavy or light attacks, you put a harmful wind on your target. And each heavy or light attack you put on them stacks that as long as you do it within 5 seconds. Every time you light attack, it puts a stack on them, and every time you do it again, every time you light or heavy attack again, within that 5 seconds, it refreshes the counter and puts another stack, and it stacks up to 10 times. So you'll see once again in the combat metrics report how much damage this actually does on the trial Atronach, just because you're passively light attacking. If light attacking is not your thing, you want to go, or you don't have Reliquins, or you're just looking for something different, you can always go with like Coral Riptide here out of what's the name of that trial? I can't even remember the name of that trial. That's terrible. I'm gonna have to go. What is the name of that trial? It's over here, right? Dreadsail Reef. There it is. Oh, no, wait. That's it. Yeah, Dreadsail Reef. Sorry about that. That was gonna bug me if I didn't look it up. But that Coral Riptide will provide you extra weapon and spell damage for how low your stamina is. So if you like playing the little stamina mini game that I like to refer to it as, and keeping that stamina around 30%, you can get a lot of extras, like 740 extra weapon and spell damage while you're doing that. So it's nice for people that aren't technically the best at light attack weaving, I guess. Or if you don't have access to that, you could just go with something like Pillars of Nirn, where it's kind of like a set it and forget it type of set right there. That one you just have to do damage, and that's it. And it causes it to proc. Doesn't matter what kind of damage it is, and it'll proc off of that. Kind of showing my age right there with the Ron Popeil reference of set it and forget it. Anybody that's old enough to remember that, comment below and let me know. Please show me that I'm not the only one that's that old. All of my headpieces I have in maximum stamina enchants, and all of them are in divines. Oh, you know what? This isn't in. That's maximum magic. I never put an enchantment on that one. Now I am using 5 medium, 1 light, 1 heavy. If you wanted to go with 6 medium and 1 light, you can do that as well. Like, it's just, to me, it's just kind of min-maxing, and you don't have, you can do it if you want to, you can do it if you don't want to. So, but it's not a huge deal when it comes down to it. You get a little bit more like critical, or not critical. Yeah, you'll get a little bit more critical damage out of wearing another piece of medium. You get a tad bit of stamina recovery too, but I think it's just, in my opinion, it might be frivolous. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it pulls out another 1K or something like that. But regardless, it's not how I have it set up right now. As always, like I've said in the past, if you are, you know, like, or not if you, if you hear anything that I say here, don't. It's not like it's not gospel, and like, I'm not the best at this. I'm just showing you what I do and what I like to do, and hopefully, other people like to do it as well, and it helps other people. Nothing I say, and like, I'm not trying to sound like I know everything about this game, because obviously I don't. I'm not the best player at this game either, but these are just things that I found to do and things that I like to do for fun. So this is the type of builds that I like. So maybe somebody else hasn't thought of it and they like it and they want to try it. So, all right, so we're gonna go to Champion Tree, green and red. Do as you wish. For this setup for the Atronach, I am using Wrathful Strike slotted, Fighting Finesse slotted, Deadly Aim slotted, and Master at Arms slotted. I do have all of my, all my stuff in the Extended Might, the Piercing, Flawless Ritual, War Mage, Battle Mastery, Mighty. I have all those passive effects filled in. The passive effects for this Starving Death Constellation, my Eldritch Insight, my Timeless Discipline, my Precision. Like, I have all the. You want to make sure you can get all of your points into all of the passive abilities that you can put in there that don't have to be on your bar. Now, if you're running with a very good group dynamic, you may not need this Fighting Finesse to get to that 125% area on the critical strike damage cap. So if you're able to do that, you can always trade this out for Untamed Aggression, or go into Extended Might and do Weapons Expert or Exploiter. You can put it anywhere else you would like if you have good group composition. But I have this way just for my parse right now. Skills. We're using Stampede to trigger our Maelstrom weapon on the back bar. We are using Hurricane. This provides us minor expedition for 15% more movement speed, and we are also getting major resolve out of it for our spell and physical resistance buffs. Not to mention, this starts off as 5 meters, and as time goes on, it's a 20-second timer on this, and every couple seconds or whatnot, it grows in size. It'll grow clear up to 9 meters in size and increase in damage by up to 120%. So you want to make sure you're letting this stay out there almost the full duration. That way you're getting the most damage potential out of it. We are using Barb Trapped after that. This is just a bleed damage up front and then a bleed damage over time. And it also gives us minor force for 20 seconds as well while the bleed damage is going off. And enemies hit with it are affected with the hemorrhaging status effect for one stack of the hemorrhaging status effect since they've changed that now. But I mean, we're not getting uptime on hemorrhaging like we used to, but it's still giving you hemorrhage, so it's a nice utility ability. We are running both pets on both bars. I am using the Volatile Familiar. He does a shock damage, and then when you activate him, he does another AoE shock damage as well. And this familiar, we're going to be making sure that we keep his. We're gonna make sure that we're keeping his activation up. Like we're gonna make sure we're reactivating it on cooldown or maybe even beforehand. The Twilight Tormentor, this right here, we are just have this on the bar for passive damage. He's going to do good damage. Like when we first start a fight, we're going to activate him along with the Volatile Familiar, but that's it. We're not going to activate him after that. If you don't want to activate him, then you don't have to. This ultimate slot right here, you can kind of use what you want here. I just have the Summon Charged Atronach on both bars right now just for the sake of the video, but situationally you might be putting something different here, whether you're in a trial when you're helping provide, barrier. I don't know. like if you're, you can kind of put whatever ultimate here you want. You can put Flawless Dawnbreaker here and it's just whatever you want. Like it is what it is. You can customize it to whatever fits your need for the time being. On the front bar, we are running Wrecking Blow. This is our main spammable. It deals a lot of damage. It gives us Empower, which we're not really worried about. We're not heavy attacking with this build, but we are gonna get Major Berserk for 3 seconds from this ability as well. And since we're spamming this, we're going to have that Major Berserk up a lot when we're on our front bar here, and it's going to buff all of our heavy damage stuff, like the Wrecking Blow itself, the crystal fragments, the birds, the Aegis. Like while that Major Berserk is up, everything you got going on is more damage. We're using Daedric Prey. This is a very important ability. This is going to buff our pets by 45%. So we want to make sure that we're keeping this up as much as possible. But we also want to make sure that we're letting it fall off completely as well. Because when it stays on for 6 seconds, and during that 6 seconds, your pets are just doing 45% more damage. Plus your Atronach should be still as well. It used to say that in the tooltip. I'm not sure if that's how it works still or not, to be completely honest with you. But during that 6 seconds, your pets are doing more damage, and then when that 6 seconds expires, the rune explodes and does a really nice amount of damage when it explodes. So you wanna wait for that explosion, hear that explosion to pop off before you're reapplying it. Crystal Fragments, we have this here literally just for its proc condition. If you don't know what that is, if you're new to this, while this is slotted, a non-ultimate ability has a 33% chance of causing the next Crystal Fragment to be instant, deal 66% more damage, and cost half as much. So more damage, less cost, and then it takes the channel time, the cast time off of it as well. It goes from 0.8 seconds, which isn't very long to begin with, to instant. So we're hitting this when it is procced. Once again, we have both pets, and we have the Summon Charged Atronach. The rotation is very simple. Well, static. I guess it's really not simple, but I tried to keep this as static as possible. The coming into the fight, before we start the fight, I am activating my volatile familiar, and then I'm activating my tormentor, and I'm not going to activate the tormentor after that at all. This is the very beginning of the fight. I'm going to activate him one time, and then I'm just going to let him passively do damage. After I activate both of those, I am going to charge in with my Stampede. I'm going to light attack Hurricane, I'm going to light attack Barb Trap, and I'm going to bar swap. When we get to the front bar here, I will be light attack Daedric Prey, and then I'm going to light attack Wrecking Blow spam the whole time that that all my back bar abilities, AoEs are going off, or my like these are 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 20 seconds. While these are still ticking, I'm going to be Wrecking Blowing as much as I can. Anytime Daedric Prey falls off, I'm going to be reapplying it, and anytime our Crystal Fragments proc, I'm going to hit it. But the Daedric Prey and the Crystal Fragments, they both are really good abilities. These are priority. Like your Wrecking Blow is going to do damage regardless because you're spamming it. But when the Daedric Prey falls off, you want to get that back up. When the Crystal Fragment procs, you want to hit those. Those are very important. Make sure that you're prioritizing keeping this up 100% of the time and letting it explode, and hitting your Crystal Fragments. When we are on this front bar and we're starting to see our timers on our back bar getting close to the end to where we're going to have to bar swap and start over, we're going to activate our Volatile Familiar again, bar swap, and then start over. So you'll get to see all of this in the trial Atronach parse, which will be coming right up after this video. You can see exactly how I run the rotation, and you'll get a chance to check out the combat metrics, see what everything does, how everything breaks down, and how each ability is doing damage, and how it's adding up to what it's doing. So that's the nice thing about being on PC now. We can really dive into the combat metrics and really get into what does more damage and what's it helps you with your theory crafting and your rotation building and whatnot, so it's really cool. But I think that's all I got for you. I'm going to go ahead and attach our Atronach parse to this so you can see exactly how well it does, and then we'll come back, talk about our final thoughts, and say goodbye. So here, that parse is coming up here in just 1 second for you guys. I ended that parse without actually bringing up the combat metrics report here. So 120k damage on that parse right there. That's kind of high end, to be completely honest with you. I normally get 115 to 117, 118. That's definitely the highest I've ever gotten on it. So that's probably high end, to be completely honest with you. But I mean, you've seen it has the capability to do so. Wrecking Blow obviously is our main spammable, and it did the most damage. It provided 19,000 DPS throughout that parse. It averaged 45k, maxed out at 63k. Light attacks. Light attacks are the next thing. 11,000 damage just out of light attacks, and they averaged 13k, maxed out at 17k. Had 152 light attacks in that whole parse right there. And next we see Crystal Fragments coming in at 66k average, 89k top out there. Arms of Reliquin. This goes right along with our light attack weaving, and we are looking at 9,600 from the Arms of Reliquin. Add that to just the 11,000 there, and I mean you're well over. You're like, what are we looking at? 21k damage just from light attack weaving because of the light attacks and the Arms of Reliquin. You can't really, you can't beat that. That's why this build works so well. Tormentor, Aegis Caller did really good damage. I mean, Zaun's putting out damage. It averaged 44, and the burning status effect that it applies as well did another 24. So you're looking at like 68 out of that, which would actually have it more. It would have it right up close to where the damage that Aegis Caller is doing. So all these sets together work very well together. They produce a lot of damage, and the combat metrics don't lie right there. 120k damage is really good damage. So that is all I got for you guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate it greatly. If you liked the video, please leave a like and even subscribe. I'd be greatly appreciative if you did. But until next time, happy adventuring.